Q&A session. Hope you page by now. We believe this event is supporting you to make an informative decision about your major. Also, with the support from the academic departments, of course, we need their support. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, so with the support of the academic departments, you will have a chance today to listen to Dr. Mu'tasim and Dr. Ahmed from the chemistry department. The doctors will talk briefly about the program offered by the department and are available today to answer your questions. We also have Aya and Mubarak, who are senior students majoring in chemistry. They are here today to share their valuable experience with us with regards to their major. Important note to everyone, please keep your mic muted all the time during the session. If you have any questions, please write it in the chat box or raise your hand and we will call your name to speak at the end of the session. A registration link will be shared with you in the chat box. Make sure you fill the registration form. Thank you so much. So Dr. Mu'tasim and Dr. Ahmed, the floor is yours.
Go ahead, Dr. Ahmed.
Oh, I thought you were taking the lead, Dr. Mu'tasim. Whose presentation deck is this? I'm not sure.
I have prepared this slide, but I can stop sharing my screen and everyone, you guys can go ahead and share your screens.
Oh no, it's fine. I wasn't. I don't have any slides prepared. I thought it was more a Q&A session. I wasn't informed that I had to give a presentation, but I'm happy to speak about the department. So how many students do we have here? 1, 2. Okay, it's not bad. It's a good. Okay, so I guess out of curiosity, the students that are here, and feel free to like type in the chat box. Feel free to like answer this question. Are most of the students here like engineering students right now? And if so, what engineering field are you in? If not, can you just indicate what college you're enrolled in currently? Guess nobody's answering that question.
So basically, this is a question and answer session. So we are expecting prospective students to have, if they have any questions to Dr. Ahmed, myself, Aya and Mubarak, please go ahead and ask. Mubarak, Aya are one of the students in the first cohort who will be graduating from the department, I would say by the end of spring. Correct, Mubarak and Aya?
Yes, inshallah.
Yes. So the BSc in chemistry program is a new one, and it's I would say a successful one up to this moment. And we welcome students, nationals and expatriates from different countries, and it's a diverse group of highly motivated students. So I am assuming that there are many students over here who are interested or have questions about chemistry in general or about the department, specifically the undergraduate part, if I'm not wrong. And we are here to answer these questions. And also we have two of our excellent students, Aya and Mubarak, to answer any of your questions related, in addition to Dr. Ahmed and myself.
Hi, Doctor. So this is Hammam from the Career Services Office.
Yes.
And yeah, one of the questions, even myself, I have when we get students asking about the industry and the future of this kind of education or this kind of major. So what are the main areas that a graduate from the chemistry will be working in once upon graduation?
Okay, so a graduate from the chemistry program has many potential employers. For example, there is usually the education field, but the education field is not the only field there. Many of them choose to go to industry, work with pharmaceutical companies. Also, with the forensic science track, they can also work with the military, with many areas that relate to petrochemicals, uh, factories that use chemistry in general. So the aspects and the prospects are big. Limiting it to the thinking that you are only there to become a teacher is not the reality. So there are many areas, as I have mentioned, pharmaceuticals, petrochemicals, also in the military, forensic science, if you choose to go into that field, biotechnology, and also proceed with the studies as master and PhD in different areas, not necessarily in chemistry. Some students choose to go into environmental fields. Okay, some even go to nuclear fields, nuclear engineering. So I would say the opportunities are big and they are very positive for a graduate from the chemistry department.
Yeah, I was going to just to add to that. That's perfect. Is that I don't know if you guys can see my screen. I tried to share it. I'm not sure if it's actually visible or not. But if you go to the KU,
Yes, we can see it.
it is visible. Okay, yeah. So if you go to the KU website and you go to the different academic programs, you can find the BSc in chemistry program, and it explains it explains kind of the structure of the program and the different courses that are there. But importantly, there's in your fourth year, you'll basically be specializing in one of three tracks that we have, as Dr. Mu'tasim indicated. So environmental chemistry is one track, and jobs there would be, you could work for the environment agencies, any environment agencies that are out there. You can work in wastewater treatment. You can work in any kind of like industry where you would have to kind of analyze environmental samples and report on, specific analytes that you're interested in. That would be a good track for that. Forensic chemistry, as Dr. Mu'tasim indicated, is great for people that want to get into the police force or the military, and the material chemistry. The material chemistry track is an excellent option for those that want to go into either a synthesis chemistry type of job or do graduate studies in material sciences. Nanomaterials are a big field right now that a lot of people are doing research in. So that's a sort of a nice track that can lead you down that path. Importantly, I don't know if you're aware, but for those students that are here, that the university has opened up a medical school recently. So I think they inducted their second round of students this year. And the program they have is a graduate program. So you have to do a bachelor's degree before you start medical school. And the chemistry program is an excellent feeder program into medical school because you get a lot of options to do things like biochemistry, organic chemistry, which are actually prerequisites to apply to that program. So I guess the short answer to your question is with engineering, usually you study engineering and you basically go into that one specific engineering job or maybe graduate school. With chemistry, it kind of really opens up your options in terms of what you want to do later in life. And I'll kind of end it there. Apologies for the long answer.
This is great. Thank you, doctors. Students, if you are hesitant to open the mic and talk, you can write your questions below if you want.
Yes, and if you don't mind, if you do put a question, just indicate if you have a current major declared, what it is, or if you're enrolled in a specific college, just out of curiosity to see the kind of students that are interested in these Q&A sessions.
I think some of them are STEM students. So their foundation not yet enrolled in something.
So still undecided in their major?
Yes.
Okay. So any of you students would like to ask a question, have any queries about the chemistry program?
So we have a question from Hudal Hashmi in the chat box. What sort of career would she be qualified for with a degree in chemistry? And I think she's typing another question as well.
Huda. Huda was one of my students in chemistry 115, if I remember correctly. And as Dr. Ahmed has mentioned, the possibilities are quite diverse in addition to being in the education field, research also. In a BS degree also many of them work in pharmaceutical companies. Again, mentioning about wastewater treatment if they choose to go into the environmental track, also the forensic track. And some of them also can study chemistry and then use that to go into medical school, prepare for the MCAT exam and go into medical school. Many fields are there available, and anything that you see in the industry that employs chemistry as one of its parts or components is where chemistry majors will be found there. Also, one thing, they can work as consultants, especially in EDIC and other fields. I have students working, telling me that they work there, they design curricula, okay, in addition to their job as instructors. So many opportunities over there. Huda. If Dr. Ahmed would like to add or any other comments from other students.
That's a good question, I guess, Huda. So Huda's asking, is it the same person? Is it Huda's asking that? She's asking, is it better to major in biomedical engineering or chemistry if you're planning to continue to medical school? My answer to that, honestly, is you should look at the prerequisites to getting into medical school. Like, what are the courses that you have to take? And obviously you have to somehow take them either as electives or if they're kind of a core component of what you're doing. So I teach organic chemistry in second year right now, and a lot of my students are biomedical engineering students. So the course that we have for organic chemistry for biomedical engineering students is not really a very good course for preparing for the MCAT, for example. If you wanted to get a good, strong, so to get into medical school, you have to write the MCAT, and a big component of the MCAT is organic chemistry. So in the chemistry program, our organic chemistry courses are different. You actually take two of them. So there are two one-semester courses rather than in engineering, you only take one course. And those two courses together would really be a lot better at preparing you for the MCAT. If you really are set on going to medical school, then I would not say don't take biomedical engineering, but I would say try to do those organic chemistry classes as opposed to just relying on the organic chemistry from BME. Now BME also has great electives on anatomy and physiology and stuff like that. So I honestly can't recommend one program over the other. I would tell you join our program because I can vouch that our instructors and the kind of the one-on-one care you get in our program would probably be better than BME. They have a lot more students there, so you might not get as much if you're the kind of student that likes more the one-on-one interactions and that with faculty. Then maybe our program would be a better fit. But for medical school, both would be fine. As long as you do the prerequisite courses. I don't know if that answers your question or if you have any more.
Can I add, Doctor?
Please, Mubarak. I think you guys can add a lot more value than we can because you're actually there. So yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. If I'm not wrong, I think either they opened or they will open a pre-med track in chemistry. Have you heard of it, Doctor?
Yes, that is true, Mubarak. They will be opening that. It's in the process right now. Yes, you are right.
Yeah, it's a medicinal chemistry track, I believe, not a pre. Yeah.
I'm not sure about its name, whether they call it medicinal or pre-med? I think pre-med because it is more about biochemistry and biology. So I think this track would be a good option for her.
Yeah, agreed. If there's if the track goes online and it's specifically pre-med track, then yeah, obviously that would be the best. Thanks, Mubarak. I forgot about that actually. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And in many other countries, and like in the US, usually students who wish to go into the medical school would choose, I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of students would pick either chemistry or biology as their undergrad major, rather than, let's say, physics or biomedical engineering or any other engineering related major. So chemistry is high up there for students who wish to continue into medical school.
If I may add something, and correct me, doctor, if I'm wrong. So some students might be hesitant to register or to go for this because it's a new major. Being a new major or a new degree, it's actually an advantage or something that you can make your decision based on that, because adding a new major is not an easy thing for any university. It requires lots of research about the market, about the industry, by the university itself and also by the ministry. And it means specifically that the country requires this kind of graduates, which means the future is already open for these kind of graduates. I'm not sure if this is something worth mentioning, doctors.
Dr. Ahmed, I think your screen is still shared.
We have admitted at the beginning 6 students, the first cohort, and as we progress through the years, so this is the 4th year. This year, I am teaching physical chemistry 1, and I have 15 students. So the number of students is growing, which is very good. And at the same time, they will have opportunities. Bear in mind that not many universities here in the UAE graduate chemistry students. UAEU is one of them. Also Sharjah and American University in Sharjah. So possibly there are only 4 or 5, maybe maximum 6 universities graduating chemistry students. And the demand, I assure you, is higher than the supply right now. Okay, and the number also of expatriates and nationals who are going to join the workforce here in the UAE is possibly even not enough. So there is also room for admitting more students. In terms of the faculty, we have faculty from diverse backgrounds, and also some even go as far as soil science and many other areas of chemistry that you wouldn't expect to be in the department. So rest assured in that area that the faculty, we have at least 20 faculty with doctoral degrees, and they are from diverse backgrounds and cover, I wouldn't say all areas, but most areas of chemistry of interest. If you would like to say something, Dr. Ahmed, also to add, please.
Yeah, sure. The thing I would add is, I've been here now, like, I grew up in this country actually, and one thing I've noticed, especially over the last 8 years since I've come back here, because I moved to North America for a long time, but since I've come back here, I've noticed that the leadership in the country are really investing a lot of money into building a very strong research infrastructure in the country. You can see that with the new universities that are being founded, but also you can see that with new organizations that are like federal organizations that are actually going to be administering research grants and administering like research in the country. So chemistry really kind of sets you up for a career in research, amongst other things. So if you're interested in getting into research in the long run, like doing a master's or a PhD, and becoming a professor or a scientist in even an industrial laboratory, then for me it's a no-brainer. You know, go into the faculty of sciences and do a like a you know, like a basic science degree as opposed to something very applied, if that makes sense. That's the only thing I want to add to everything else that's already been said.
Okay, so another question that I also face when I deal with CVs of students, what kind of skills, for me as a student who's on my first year or second year in the university, what kind of skills or extracurricular activities should I like work on or improve in order for me to succeed or to add value to my certificate as a graduate in the chemistry from the chemistry college?
Maybe that question would be better answered by students who are about to graduate, like Mubarak and Aya. What kind of skills do you think are really pertinent and important to the workforce when you go and find a job?
For me, I think that participating in any extracurricular activity in the university would be really good for the student's CV. Like for me, I think I participated in almost all the majors days and chemistry days that they took place here in the university, and I really felt that they gave me sort of a sense of leadership, and I was able to improve my sense of like my communication skills with other people, with students, even with the students' families who used to come during the open days. And it was really beneficial for me as well as for the students who used to ask me, because I think for me as a student, if I was in their place, I would want to ask a student like me about their experience, because I know that they would really maybe they would tell it from their perspective, which would be closer to another student's perspective, unlike when asking maybe a professor or someone in the like in the administration or registration. So yeah, I think that's it for now for my answer.
Mubarak, would you like to also share with us some insights, extracurricular skills, activities, etc.?
Actually, what she said is important. Yes, yes. What she said is important for your CV, but there is also okay.
Yes,
say Mr. Hammam.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask you, Mubarak and Aya, what are your goals now? You're almost graduating. What are you planning to do once you're done?
For me, masters.
What about Aya?
I applied for masters as well. Inshallah, hopefully I will continue to PhD as well.
Inshallah.
I could also add that students, in terms of, say, academic, to keep reviewing the material before they go into the master's program and work also on their mathematical skills, okay? Chemists usually get too much involved in the chemistry, and sometimes they forget that there is another aspect of it, which is the computational part and the modeling part, mathematical aspects of that. I think that will help them, especially when they go to their master's and PhD, starting to write papers, analyze data, statistical skills, mathematical skills are really important for any graduate of science, really.
Yeah, I guess if I had to add one more thing to that, I would say, you know, the biggest thing is just like a good sense of curiosity and kind of like a natural a natural ability to see big picture. So like I'm a biochemist by training, and you know, since joining the chemistry department, I had to teach undergraduate chemistry courses, which I haven't I haven't done just chemistry on its own since I was an undergraduate myself. And one thing I've noticed is, as I've been teaching these students, and I actually taught Mubarak in his first year, so I'm really glad to hear that he's going into graduate school, because I always thought he would make an excellent scientist, is that chemistry is a science that really bridges physics and biology together. I'm actually a better biologist, a better biochemist now, because I've refreshed my knowledge of chemistry by teaching these undergraduate courses and having to, you know, kind of brush up on that again. So the cool thing about chemistry is it really gives you a big picture. Like, it shows you how the world works, really. So if you're the kind of person who is curious and who really likes to understand how nature works, how like the universe really works, then you know, those are two excellent prerequisites to have before joining you know, the chemistry program, I would say. Kind of a big picture type thing.
Can I ask the students here something?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. I think none of the students are currently enrolled declared their major. So are there some students that are really willing, from the participants, that are really willing to continue chemistry, or considering it as an second option or a third option?
We have Huda here says that yes, she is considering it.
Okay.
You
are a freshman, right?
I actually do hope, since I have taught Huda chemistry 115, I actually do encourage her to join chemistry. Huda was one of the students that always likes to ask questions and answer very tough questions, even though it was all online. But I have no doubt that if she decides to come to chemistry, that she will be successful. And it was really a pleasure teaching her last semester. Any other questions?
I know it's early.
Yeah, تفضل.
Okay. I just want to say something to her. I know it's early to ask, but what do you want, or what do you wish that you will work in after finishing? This question is for Huda. Master, then PhD, then work in lab. Perfect. Plus, you are Huda same as myself and I. Do research.
Yeah, so if research is what you want to do, then I think a basic science discipline like chemistry, you know, but I'm biased, obviously, would be a better option than an engineering science discipline, personally.
Yes.
If I can add something, I think now in general, like for work, I feel like they're being more directed towards people who are whose bachelor degrees are science rather than engineering. I feel like there's a lot of engineers and there's not much like vacancies for engineers. And the job opportunities for scientists, I feel like they're very broad, and there's a lot of opportunities in a lot of fields. If you're majoring in chemistry, for example, as Dr. Mu'tasim and Dr. Ahmed mentioned. But if you're studying a specific engineering major, I feel like it would be very specific, like the job opportunities and where you can work. So
yes. Also, one thing about, in generally speaking, students in Arab countries in general, and this is not kind of a stereotyping, but think that engineers are of a higher stature than science, and most parents and students want to join an engineering program rather than a science program. That, I think, is changing right now, and what Aya mentioned is very important. There are many areas now in engineering in general that are saturated. I don't want to mention a field in specific, but many graduates and very tight job market for them. That is not the case right now here in the UAE for chemistry. There are many opportunities, and I would safely say that graduates of chemistry will not be unemployed. If anything, they will quickly be grabbed by either graduate schools or by industry or by any, if they wish to go to teach in institutes, educational institutes, I would doubt that any of them would be unemployed. So the future is very, very positive for them, I would say.
There's a question that Huda gave. I did really like the question about the laboratory research. So I think it is best answered by Aya. Go ahead, Aya.
what's the question? Sorry.
She asked, can I do laboratory research as an undergraduate student?
Oh, yes, as Dr. Ahmed mentioned, I'm actually very glad that I got the chance to work with him during one semester. It was actually last spring. It's the spring semester that we converted into e-learning. But I had the chance to conduct a couple of experiments with in his lab. And actually, the topic that I was working on was very interesting to me, and I really learned a lot during this independent study course. Even though I couldn't continue doing the experiments, I still had the chance to really have a true sense of what research is like, because I didn't, this was actually my first time doing a proper literature review. And especially that I was I was in my junior year, so I felt like I started to have a good background and like the foundation that I needed to submit a proper literature review. And I also did a presentation. So it was really an exceptional experience for me, because it was my first independent research course. Other courses are all like exam-based courses, so it was a really fun and a good experience.
Don't forget your SRP.
Yeah, of course.
Tell her about it.
Sorry?
Tell her about your senior project.
Oh, so do you want to know the topic or what exactly?
I think you tell her about the laboratory research that you do in your senior project. It would be interesting.
Okay, so maybe I'll talk a bit about what I started. First, like the topic that I chose for my senior project is sort of close to it's like not a biomedical application, but like a synthesis of a polymer. it's called SMA polymer, and we use these polymers to make nanodiscs, and these nanodiscs are then used to extract membrane proteins from cell membranes. And this method is actually I don't know if I'm going into too much details, but if I am, please let me know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So what you want to mention, and also Mubarak, is that there are many opportunities to do research as undergraduate students, and that possibly answers Huda's question. I would like to add something about what Ahmed said at the beginning, this one-to-one interaction between students and faculty. Given that we have a small number of students in chemistry, we know them all by name and they know us. So there is that favorable attention paid by faculty to students, and that is very important for their success. So, and I would say this is one advantage of joining a budding, newly established program like chemistry. This kind of attention, and possibly Mubarak and Aya could agree with me on that. The attention is higher than in other majors where there are, let's say, a group of 70 students joining at once.
I do agree. We know
I agree as well.
There are like personal relationships between students and professors in chemistry.
Yes.
We do have one more question that Huda asked about the minor. What minor she may take if she majors in chemistry?
Actually, I'm not aware about minors in chemistry. We have tracks, but I think we do not have minors. You can correct me, Dr. Mu'tasim or Dr. Ahmed, if I'm wrong.
I believe her question is, what can she minor in if she majors in chemistry? And the answer to that is, well, so my understanding is in order to minor in something, to get a minor in something, you have to take a specific number of courses in that discipline. So that question I think would be better geared towards like maybe an academic counselor, because they can they can maybe advise you better than them. I'm actually not very familiar with other minors in other programs. Is there a specific program you want to minor in? I guess that's a better way to redirect that. Okay. Yeah. So my advice to you is if there is something you want to minor in, first pick that, figure out what that is, and then look at what the requirements to minor in that is, and then see if you can fit those requirements into the academic program for chemistry. So the academic program for chemistry it's on the website, it's on the academic calendar. It shows you what you take every year, and there's a whole bunch of electives you take. So if those electives can be the courses you need to get the minor in whatever you want to minor in, then obviously you can minor in something else. But I mean, in general, it's a loaded question. You want to minor in music. I don't know. We don't have a music program, but it's a bit of a loaded question without asking specifically what program you want to minor in. I hope that helps.
Can I ask you, Huda, a question? You are a freshman student in the second semester, right?
So any other questions from other students around? Would you like to pose a question in the final few minutes?
Let me ask her a question if there are no questions for
I
Huda.
think Huda is typing something.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you taken Huda chemical research skills yet? Course.
So if we don't have more questions, I think we can end the session. Would you like to add anything, Dr. Mu'tasim or Dr. Ahmed, before ending?
I would just like to add that for students, please feel free to send us an email, to reach out if you really have any questions or any information you would like to get relating to the chemistry program. And it is a welcoming department, and inshallah you will make the decision that is right for you.
Yeah, to that, the only thing I'd add is, you've seen two of the most excellent students we have, Aya and Mubarak, in our program. So you know who they are. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to, chat with you on Teams, answer all your questions on what it's like being a student in the program. Without us being around, they'll probably, they can tell you, if you want to ask stuff that you don't want to ask in front of faculty or whatever, you can get all the information there. So I highly recommend, joining our department for all the reasons we already spoke about. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, doctors. Thank you, Mubarak. Thank you, Aya and Huda, for the great questions. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the lovely session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalam.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.